Good morning. Mm. Good morning. Hi, it is Stacy. This is Loving My Veteran, and we are walking in my shoes this morning. Let everything kind of catch up. Have some coffee because I'm a minute late here according to my little clock. So I want to say to everyone good morning. Um, I got like lipstick everywhere. Um, if y'all missed the film last night, it was truly amazing. Just want y'all to know that. And the panel discussion was as well. And the panel discussion will come out on YouTube. That was recorded, and we'll be able to share that on our page and other things for anybody who missed that part of Medicating Normal. So I just wanted to thank, first of all, thank everybody who joined, and it was just such a good time. So, what else is coming up this week? We got a lot. Tomorrow starts Military Appreciation Month. It is a way to unify all the military spouses, former military veterans. So every day you'll see something new about military appreciation. Please hashtag that Military Appreciation Month. I've got a little post about that, so we'll get that out there. But the whole month of May, and that leads us to Memorial Day. So it's just time we get that together as well. All right, so today we're going to talk about advocates. What does it mean? What do we do? Where do we go? How do we become an advocate? Who do we become an advocate for? And what is that role of being an advocate? Where do we fit in to that role? First of all, you have to be an advocate for yourself. Can I just say that one more time? You must be an advocate for yourself. It is important that you learn self-care and you stand up for your rights, being an advocate for yourself. When you're tired, you got to be tired and you got to take care of you. Okay? When you're to your breaking point, you have to say, I'm done. I'm at my breaking point, and you have to be able to take care of you. You have to be an advocate for yourself first. First and foremost, yourself. It is not selfish, it is self preserving. Being an advocate for yourself is incredibly important. You have to learn to do that. It was a very hard thing for me to learn. I am a giver. I have always been a giver. I am taking care of everybody else. For me to sit back and say, to be an advocate, I have to take care of me first. I have to be an advocate for myself first. In the words of Carl, you are not good for anybody else if you are not good for yourself first. I've learned more from that man than I can even imagine. So, and you guys get to play these back and hear this. So, anyway, but when it becomes to being an advocate, you've got to take care of you. You've got to become your own advocate. Your health is important. You need to make sure that your health is taken care of. Okay? You have to do that. You have to make sure that happens. It is important that we do that. You have to take time for you. Because how do you take care of anybody else if you can't take care of you? So that means, ladies, as much as we don't like it, you got to go get the booby squished. You need to go once a year to the doctor and get just a physical. We just need to do that. It's just something we need to do. Take care of ourselves first. Number one. Number two, becoming an advocate for your veteran or anybody means being informed. We learned a lot last night about informed consent. We've learned a lot about informed consent last night. We get out there and we let social media, we let social acceptance determine what is best for everybody. So, what what is the number one thing they say? Oh, you've got PTSD, you're depressed, you need a pill. Okay? That is socially acceptable. That is what we have all think is the right thing. So, as spouses and advocates and caregivers, I hate that word, and partners, what do? We push, go to the VA or anywhere and get your medication. It's going to make you feel better. When I was having a hard time dealing with what I'm going through, said something to my doctor. He said, "Here, take these." Now, granted, he's a little different and he does whatever, but we're going to talk to him today again about coming off all those. I just have to learn to deal with my emotions. Okay, it's only two and they're minor, but it doesn't matter. I have to learn to come off of those. So that is the socially norm. It is the social norm to be able to go take this pill, go to therapy, go do this, go do that, and you're going to fit into the social norm. So to be an advocate, you have to become educated. You have to become educated. That is the number one thing you need to do as an advocate. Because at the end of the day, the veteran has the right to choose. Okay? The veteran that we're advocating for has the right to choose. But we also have to be their voice sometimes. That means standing up at the VA. That means doing what we have to do if they're using VA care. That means doing what we have to do. One of the best suggestions was, I think Angie talked about it last night, is every medication that you're on, Google the name of the medication and FDA insert. Okay, not the package insert, the FDA insert. Right? That's going to show you side effects, how long it lasts, what it does, everything about this drug. Everything about this drug. The dangers, the risk, the pros, the cons is all in there. That is why it is important to look at that. I'm not saying that medication doesn't work. I'm saying informed consent works. When you're on something too long, it can affect your organs. Dr. V was telling us last night that your medicine has a half-life in your blood, and that's how long the massive effectiveness becomes. Okay, and then it also has it in your brain. But I didn't realize it has it in your bone marrow, and that can take years to go away. So again, we don't know that. We're not educated. So as advocates, we have to become educated. Become educated. Learn education. Learn the stages of grief. Learn what happens during trauma. Become educated. Education is key to being an advocate. We can all stand here and say, we love our veteran. I do. I love him more than anything. But when I start talking to y'all, and that's one, we research everything. Everything. When I looked at the original diagnoses of PTSD, I used 3 sources, and none of the 3 could agree. So you have to do your own homework. Even what I'm telling you, and I'm going to use these words, and I can't believe that I'm going to use this. This is the things they say. Pretend that everything I'm telling you is a lie. Look it up for yourself. And I got that from yesterday, last night. I just thought that was amazing. But to become an advocate, you have to become educated. What are the VA programs? Our normal is go take your medicine, go to counseling, go to therapy, go to whatever. How good is the therapy? How good is the counseling? Are there other alternatives? Are there things that my veteran would rather do? What else is out there? Are there peer-to-peer support groups out here that he might work better with or she may work better in? All of those things, do your homework. Then when you sit down to talk to your veteran, okay, because this is one of the things I think Sue asked me last night. When you get ready to talk to your veteran, now you're educated. Now you can sit down and say, we've talked before that, you're not real happy with these medicines, but you kind of notice a change and you think you might need to be here. Look, I've just done some research, and let me show you what I found. And when it becomes overwhelming, stop, but give them the papers. Let them read for themselves. They are educated. Y'all, they're warfighters. They went in and learned more technical stuff than we can ever learn. If you can learn how to dial in a bomb to make it go 10 miles down the road and hit the right building, they're pretty educated. Okay? They're not dumb as a box of rocks. So let them read it. Let them understand it. Let them know that that's available. Same thing when we start looking at outside resources. When we look at outside resources to help, like Emory's PTSD and Shepherd's TBI and Warfighter Advance, when we look at those outside resources, us as an organization, we vet them. We don't just say, hey, go here and go there and go here. No, we actually vet them. We want to make sure that what they say they deliver, they deliver. And so look at outside resources. We already know that ART therapy works. So we need just to do your homework and become the advocate. That's at the one level. So now you're an advocate for yourself first. First you. When you become the advocate for your veteran, do your homework. Before you go saying anything or do anything to your veteran or to their doctor or to whomever, do your homework. Understand your homework. You know, obviously y'all know I use Mayo. Okay, I mean, it isn't like they're, for what I have, they're one of the top 3 hospitals in the country that do the multiple things. For one of them, they're number 1, and the other one, they're number 2. I mean, it's crazy. But every single thing my doctor tells me at Mayo, we still research. Every single thing. Make sure your research sources are reliable. In case you're interested, I'm just going to throw this out here, y'all. Facebook is not a reliable source. So just, you can put it out there, and Facebook official does not make it official when it comes to that. So I'm just throwing that out there because I thought y'all might like to understand that. Facebook official is not official information. Look at the national researches. Look at the stuff. Yeah, you might have to bypass the molecular structures of something. But the same thing happens when you're looking at alternatives. Do your homework. Look at your successes. Okay? Look at your successes. Look at their success. If they have people that, and most of them will, if you're a good program, they're going to have people who have success stories who are going to talk about it. They're going to have people who will talk, and they'll give you that information. The good, the bad, and the ugly. They're going to give you that research. That is a reputable company, a reputable organization. Okay, so just make sure you do that when you do any of your research. So you're an advocate for yourself. Now you've done the research, so now you can go let your veteran make a choice, because at the end of the day, it is still the veteran's choice. Okay, but now you've got some real options, and hey, I'm going to walk through this journey with you. So now that's being an advocate. But here's the last part of being an advocate. Being an advocate means standing up and having your voice be heard. When you see injustice, it is time to stand up and have your voice be heard. Good morning, Stephanie. Okay? You do, so you need to get the list, because it does matter. So here's the other thing, okay? If you witnessed a child being taken by force and put in a van and driven off, are you going to report that? Are you going to stand up and are you going to scream about that? If you witnessed drugs being done on your corner of your house, all of a sudden you're sitting in your yard, and up there on the corner you got people cooking a little heroin sitting there with the spoon, are you going to call and make that known? Okay, I'm kidding. Girl. Be an advocate for yourself. She gonna be an advocate for herself first. But if you got the people doing heroin on your corner, are you going to call them? Are you going to report that? Are you going to scream, this is injustice? Are you going to yell about this? Are you going to make your voice heard and say, we're not doing this in my neighborhood? So if we do that for those things, why can we not come together and make our voices be heard here? I go back to, it's still self-care, babe. I go back to the fact very specifically. By the way, did they win the ball game, Stephanie? The game? Sorry, Stephanie's on here. I go back to the fact that you don't. You can sit here and bitch and moan and groan, and if you sit and bitch and you moan and groan and you don't make your voice heard, you're still part of the problem. You're still part of the problem. You're still part of the problem. We have people sitting everywhere. And I'm not just talking about veteran services. We have people sitting everywhere trying to make decisions from us. Oh, I'm sorry. They lost their game. Trying to make decisions for what's best for me, and they've never lived in my life. We have people who are writing laws that make laws up that have never lived where we've lived. They've never been through our struggles that we've been through. They don't understand what it's like. They don't get it. So you have these people that are doing this. You know, anybody in Congress, anybody who has served in Congress, I'll check for you, Stacy. I'll check. When they're in Congress, and they've served in Congress, do y'all know they get instant retirement? Okay, they never lose their health care. They get instant retirement. All of that happens. So if they get sick, they don't have to wait on the Medicare system. Y'all know it's taken me since February last year, and we still don't have an answer. So they don't have to live on the Medicare system. They don't have to wait for disability. So they're not in danger of losing their house or losing whatever. If I didn't know this, I didn't know this, but I thought this was a little tough when I was looking at all of the things that go on. Is that these people have never walked in these shoes. They've never done this. They've never been without. They're not going without. So being an advocate, we have to speak up. Being an advocate, we have to be the ones who speak up. That's what we have to do. That's what our job is. Being an advocate for yourself. Being an advocate for your veteran. My biggest bitch in the VA system is this. The caregivers, the spouses, the partners, the support structure, the loved ones, the women warfighters. Yeah, it would be nice to do that. I'll see if I can get the link, Sunny, where we could do that, because I think it's really kind of cool. The warfighters that we all have, whatever we are, we're discounted in this system. We're not part of this system. We're not important in this system. And we're the ones who are left out of the system. We're the ones who are left out. We're the ones left holding the bag. We're the ones who are sitting here telling them, oh, go get meds, when meds may not be the answer. We're the ones who are struggling with our own depression, who are struggling with our own sense of abandonment when they check out, who are struggling with how do you not trigger them. We're the ones who are walking on eggshells, and all it does is cause animosity, and we're not being able to effectively help them effectively and help us and help. That's right. And help us do what we need to do. So become that advocate. How do you do that? You have to open your mouth. You have to say enough is enough. You have to stop, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm talking about society as a whole. We have to stop letting the bullshit happen and start speaking out. We have to do that. We absolutely have to start being the advocates and speak out, because if we don't, we are no different than the problem. It is imperative that we become these advocates. One, let's go back. I just said the very first thing, you have to be an advocate for yourself. What resources are you given? What resources are available to you to navigate this journey of PTSD TBI? What resources do you have that are available? You know, when they get the little diagnosis, you get a little pamphlet, 2 pages. This is what a TBI is. This is what PTSD is. Good luck with that. And it tells you what they're going to experience. Does it tell you what you're going to experience? Does it tell you the loneliness you're going to feel? Does it tell you the fact that you're going to question, why am I doing this? Does it tell you that you're going to question, am I good enough? Does it tell you that you're going to walk on eggshells and that you're going to feel you have to do that the rest of your life? Does any of that in there? Nope. And let's just say they go to therapy 1 hour a week. 1 hour a week. I'm being generous here. That they can get in and go 1 hour a week. You realize there are 168 hours in a week. 168 hours in a week. If they go to therapy 1, that means they're home with you, with the family structure, 167 hours. Now, granted, they may go to work, but there's nobody for 167 hours. Where does that come from, y'all? Where does that come from? We are not standing up and saying, if you want. Well, Nakia is here. I hope you're feeling better, sister. If you want us to help, if you want a better situation, if you want a cure, a learning to function, then we need support too. That's the first step in being an advocate. Advocate for yourself, demanding that we need more. How do we do that? We get together and we start screaming about it together and let this just snowball and generate, and stop sitting in our homes and stop bitching and saying this is what we need. That's number 1. Number 2, we have to look at alternatives. We have to look at alternatives for care. But do you know why we're not going to get anywhere? You want to know why we're not going to get anywhere when it comes to this? Because pharma is paying for it. Right? The drugs pay for it. I'm telling you, follow the money has always been the best thing I can say. But get informed. Know what's right. Stand up and say we don't do this. You know that the VA offers alternative holistic care, from nutrition to yoga to getting out. They offer that. It is part of the program. It's not at every VA, and that's where we have to get back to the voice thing. That's where we have to get back to the voice part. We have to get back to the voice part and say, hold on. You're letting this VA have it. Well, it's not. We live here. We're entitled to the same thing. Or in the words of, get the 100% permanent and total. Spouses of veterans who are 100% permanent and total get TRICARE. Veterans who are 100% permanent and total, not all of them get TRICARE. They have to use the VA system. They don't get to go out and use Champ VA or TRICARE or any of those other things. They don't get a choice in what their health care is, basically. Are y'all aware of that? Girl, you need to talk to me, Stacy, because they cannot lose their medical benefits. There's all been there, done that. Been there, done that. Michelle was telling me yesterday, and Nakia is probably way better than this. Um, an ROI, release of information. The VA doesn't utilize a power of attorney like they do a release of information, by the way. We're going to have a whole talk about that on Monday, about power of attorneys and where they work and release of information, all that stuff. But do you know Michelle has one, okay? All right? She has one, a release of information. On file at the VA system. It's got to be renewed every year. Her veteran says yes, you can give it to her. But she has to have one for every specialty. So if they go to neuro because of his MS, she has to have one for neuro. She has to have one for primary care. She has to have one for the psychologist. She has to have one for the psychiatrist. There has to be one for every single thing that you use. How insane is that? You're making it where we can't get her stuff. You're making it where they can't get care. You're making it where we can't move forward. You're cutting off the biggest support system that our veterans have, and that comes from the family. Be the advocate. Stop letting the BS happen. That's why we did Project Your Voice. That's why we did that. Come together, send the emails. Let's go together as a unified voice and saying, you sitting up here with your retirement after you serve a half a term. You're sitting here with your health benefits after you served a half a term because, you got voted out or whatever. That's like being fired and still getting benefits, right? Yeah, I mean, it is. It's ridiculous. Every time you call, you got to have a new one. It's crazy. So where do we go? We get together, we come together, we set this plan in motion, and we speak up together. Because if we start speaking up together, and we start saying, this is what's happening, if I bitch about it, nobody's going to care. I'm one person. If Melissa bitches about it, even if she does it to her news media, she's one person. Nobody's going to care. But when across the country you have thousands and thousands of people who are saying, we're not playing this game anymore. This is bullshit. I'm trying to not use my ugly words, but I don't care. I'm too blank for this. This is bullshit. We need help. We need support. We need good education. We're the ones who are with them all the time. Don't hand me a flippin' pamphlet and don't make it all about them because I have to learn to go through this too. Okay? I have to go through this too. That's important. Stop with the red tape, with the bullshit. How come one veteran can get care and just like Nakia says, nope, she doesn't. The that VA is in non-compliance. Well, you do have to show it at every community appointment. How come two people, now granted they live in two different areas, how come they have to have different stuff? It's the VA, it's one system, or it should be. Why are we going through this? When we become the advocates, this is the problem. How many of your veterans do not want care, do not want to go to the VA because they feel like they're being pushed out and there's too much bullshit and too many hoops to jump through and too much red tape, and they get frustrated and they are done? How many of them? How tiring is it for you to be told, you've got your veteran who's in a crisis, whatever the crisis, whether it's a medical crisis or whether it's a psychiatric crisis, and I'm gonna look at Nakia in this one, and I'm gonna make it medical and not all about the mental. They're getting an ice storm. Richard's only source of oxygen, okay, of oxygen, his only source of oxygen requires electricity. Now, granted, he's got a battery backup concentrator, whatever, but eventually it's going to need electricity. When she goes to go call them and say, hey, they say we're going to lose power on rolling blackouts, we need oxygen tanks, what is she told? You can't get them. You have a concentrator. You got a generator, the little thing that makes it happen. Are you kidding me? That's a medical issue. We should have fixed the medical issue. Any reputable home health oxygen company, and I have worked in EMS, and I have taken thousands and thousands and thousands of people home that are on home oxygen. I assure you, if you have oxygen and required all the time, in the civilian real world, you get portable tanks. It happens. It's required. And she's sitting here thinking, now what the heck am I going to do? What about the little man in Texas who froze to damn death trying to get his oxygen generated in his truck because he could charge it in the truck? He froze to death that day. He didn't matter. This is what being that advocate is all about. This is what being that advocate is all about. It's about coming together and saying enough is enough. And that wasn't just Nakia for Richard. What about her peace of mind? She is his 100% caregiver. Okay? She is sitting here worried. Okay? You can talk to us. I will get with you and we can talk. I might be able to get you to join us together because I just think that we can do that. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. We're gonna talk about a lot of that legalities. That's on Monday thing. Nakia, I will get with you and we will get all on this. We will get all on this. They're not moving anybody, nobody. Where that doesn't work that way. They're not a prisoner. That's not what happens. I don't care about their new format. That's not the way it works. Yeah, I mean, he is lucky, but this is what becoming that advocate is. This is what becoming that advocate is. I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg. You're going to see so much on Project Your Voice about becoming their advocate. I am dedicated to, oh yeah, you're right, girl. They ain't moving your Richard nowhere without you. Because I'll be coming from Georgia with a very big thing that we're not supposed to have anymore that the Second Amendment says I can have. Okay? Thank you. I can't believe I just said that. But it's everything. You're going to see resources now. I'm motivated. I have a fire up under my ass. I'm done with my pity party. It goes all the way back to all the things that happen. The water, the situations. We are done. Done. It's going to take this group, this very powerful group of women to get out, do this, say we have had enough, and get people behind us.
There's guys here too.
Well, and guys here too, because he's going with me. Wait, hold on. Say hi to these people. They love Carl. I mean, it's in the notes. Somebody said they love Carl. I've already fed the chickens this morning.
They were getting popcorn.
Oh, okay. He's feeding the chickens. Come together. Be voices. Have your voice heard. And I'm going to tell you something that's really important. Enlisting their help in this, when you go to your veteran and say, look, this is what we're doing, and they start to give you their opinion, right? They start to give you their little opinion on something, and they start to put their 2 cents worth in. Now you've lit a fire under them because they show that you're invested in them. So that's part of becoming the advocate. That is what it's all about. So I just need to let y'all go. Nakia, I got to go too. Call me later, Nakia, when you feel better, and we will talk about the other and get you on and let you do our thing. We love our Carl too. Yeah, he does love me. God knows why, but he does. Y'all have a blessed day. Don't forget, tomorrow, Military Appreciation Month kicks off. Please find old pictures of your veterans or whatever we need to do. Let's just get out there and post this thing up about how much we love them. Yeah, y'all stop. You're becoming like his private fan club. It's hard to live with the big-headed guy. Anyway, I will talk to y'all later. I know this one was all over the place. Oh, that's right. You're leaving. Safe travels, Sarah. Your veteran. Very safe travels. Enjoy your vacation. Let us know how it goes, darling. I will talk to y'all later. Have a blessed day. Bye.